give a quick rundown of what happened in UFC 284. So this will be a short video that will tell what all fights to watch and what happened in each of the rounds of all the 13 fights that were on this card. So if you didn't watch the event or if you missed out on some fights, you can watch this video. So let's start with the good fights of this event. So I recommend you watch these. So all these fights ended in a finish, so that is why I'm recommending it. First one is Loma versus Ellis, Shannon Ross versus Clayton Rodriguez, Josh Culibao versus Melsick, Justin Tafa versus Parker Porter, Jack Della Maddalena versus Randy Brown, and Yair versus Josh Emmett. So all these fights were good fights that if you just want to watch the finishes, you can watch only these fights because all of these were finishes. So now let's start with the first fight of this event, which was Zubaira Tukhugov versus Elvis Brenner. So in this fight, Zubaira missed weight by weighing 2.5 pounds above the limit. So as you can see, he weighed in at 157.5 and the limit is 155. So yeah, Zubaira didn't make weight for this fight, which is pretty unprofessional for the Dagestani guys. Round 1 was a pretty much even round. Brenner did good during the first half, but Tukhugov kind of took over during the latter part. And Brenner did bust Tukhugov's nose open with something, but nobody really saw what exactly happened. Round 2 is when Zubaira started to take control of the fight. Brenner seemed to be afraid of getting hit by one of the bombs that he was throwing. Round 3, Tukhugov decided to wrestle, and Brenner gave us a very impressive display of takedown defense and never really went down. So in the end, Brenner got the split decision. So commentators were extremely angry about that, and I think it's probably because the odds were like Tukhugov at minus 750 was a huge favorite in this fight. Nobody was really expecting Brenner to win, but he actually won, which was a surprise to many, and I'm sure a lot of people must have lost a lot of money in this fight, those who picked Zubaira at minus 750. Now let's go to the second fight, which was Shane Young versus Blake Bilder. So round 1, Bilder just spent 4 minutes running away and 1 minute hugging Shane. Round 2, again Bilder ran away. Round 3, Bilder finally stopped running away, and decision goes to Bilder because he did more laps around the cage. So this was the story of the fight, what I feel. Now next fight is Loma versus Ellis. So round 1, Loma busted Reed's nose and took her down and forgot that she had a ground game. Reed reminded her of that by reversing Loma and controlling her until the end of the round. Second round, and just to prove me wrong, Loma took Reed down and finished the fight with a rear naked choke. So this was a good fight. Now let's move on to Jack Jenkins versus Don Shainis. Shainis hit Jenkins on the groin. After that, Jenkins landed a couple of very good calf kicks, and when Shainis got all happy for landing one of his own, Jenkins answered with a very nice combo. Round 2, Shainis hit Jenkins on the groin again, but it's not really clear because that is pretty questionable. Then Jenkins starting having a lot of success on the feet. Shainis then took him down and got the mount, but Jenkins escaped, reversed Shainis and ended the round trying to choke him. Third round, couple of good scrambles, but Jenkins was in control most of the times and ended the fight with a nice front kick to Shainis' face. And as a result, Jenkins got the decision. Next we have Jamie Mularkey versus Francisco Prado. So round 1 and 2, nothing really happened. Round 3, when there were about 30 seconds left, Prado almost caught Mularkey with a Kimura, but he could not get it, and Mularkey in the end got the decision. Now next fight is Shannon Ross versus Clayton Rodriguez. So this was a good one. Rodriguez finished the fight by TKO in the first round. Rodriguez hurt Ross with a body shot, went for the kill and got the stoppage. So this was a good quick fight that ended in a finish. Next we have Josh Culibao versus Melsick. So round 1, Melsick hit Culibao on the groin with a spinning kick. Round 2 they clashed heads. The referee ignored it. A couple of seconds later, Melsik lost his balance. Kulibao jumped on him, got his back, and finished the fight with a rear naked choke. Next up we have Tyson Pedro versus Modestas Bukauskas. Round 1 nothing really happened. Round 2 Pedro kicked Bukauskas on the groin. Round 3 again nothing really happened. In the end Bukauskas got the decision, and it seems like he took the fight on 1 week notice, so props to both these guys. Next up we have Jimmy Crute versus Alonzo Menifield. So round 1 was a cool back and forth. Menifield dropped Crute with a punch when the round was about to end, but Crute managed to grab a hold of Menifield and survived the round. Round 2, Menifield dropped Crute with a punch. Crute then landed a nice knee, but Menifield ignored it and punched Crute all the way across the cage. Luckily for Crute, Menifield decided to hug him. Near the end of the round, Crute took Menifield down and kept trying to choke him. Round 3, Menifield grabbed the fence to avoid being taken down, and Goddard, the referee, Mark Goddard, took a point away. That was pretty surprising. The only thing Goddard did wrong here was not restarting the fight on the ground. Crute took Menifield down and controlled him until the end of the round, and this fight was a majority draw. So this is a pretty good back and forth fight. Next up we have Justin Tafa versus Parker Porter. So awesome job by Tafa, finishing the round by KO in the first round. Porter charged in and Tafa met him with a punch to the face and knocked Porter out. So pretty good fight. Next up we have Jack Della Maddalena versus Randy Brown. So Brown was dancing around the cage, showboating and being cocky, but Jack closed the distance, face planted Brown with a punch to the ear, hammered him a little bit, and then finished the fight via a rear naked choke. So again a pretty good fight. Next up we have Yair versus Josh Emmett. So round 1, Rodriguez hurt Emmett with body kicks and was looking good, but Emmett sent him to the ground with a bomb. What I liked most about this round was the way Rodriguez never threw a strike by itself. He was always following his kicks with punches, and most of these were connecting. Round 2, Rodriguez hurt Emmett with body kicks. So we were expecting Rodriguez to throw a lot of kicks in this fight, and then he sent him to the cage with an elbow. Rodriguez then went for a flying knee. It landed, I think, but Emmett ate it and took him down on the ground. After exchanging elbows, Rodriguez put Emmett in a triangle and made him tap. So good job by Rodriguez. And now we come to the main event, Islam Makhachev versus Alexander Volkanovski. Round 1, Volkanovski hurt Makhachev early with a punch, but Makhachev made him take a knee and then did the Dagestani, which is he shot for a takedown. Round 2, Volkanovski kind of dropped Makhachev, but I think he was just off balance, and the follow-up takedown proved it. So Islam basically shot for a follow-up takedown. Volkanovski escaped it, but a couple of seconds later, Makhachev rocked him with a punch. Round 3, Makhachev tried to take Volkanovski down, but Volkanovski escaped. Round 4, Makhachev took down Volkanovski and, taking advantage of Volkanovski showboating, transitioned to the back, locked the body triangle and controlled Volkanovski until the end of the round. Not much happened in this round afterwards. Round 5, Makhachev snapped Volkanovski's head a couple of times with jab and cut his face with a knee. After that, Makhachev tried to take Volkanovski down, and once again Volkanovski denied the takedown. A little bit later, Volkanovski dropped Makhachev with a punch and then kept punching Makhachev from the top until the end of the round. So this was maybe the last 1 minute of the round, and in the end we all know what happened. Islam won a unanimous decision, and even though Alexander lost the fight, I think he still gained respect in a lot of people's eyes, and he became the real star of the show. The crowd loved him. So this was my quick recap of UFC 284. That's it.